All right, welcome to week 6 for English 10. If you're watching this video, it's because you were absent on either one or both of the days that I would have had you this week. This week is the week of the PSAT College Career Readiness Wednesday day, which means I'm only going to see you twice this week because of how the rolling class schedule works out. So this week is week 6, so you should find the Google Slides in your week 6 modules. Our schedule for this week is a little less stuff to do just because I'm seeing you 2 days instead of 3. So we have Kahoot review to start in class. So if you're gone on Tuesday, then this is going to be something that I don't believe you can do it unless you have the code. So you kind of have to be there for that. But if you're gone, just review your notes instead. We're going to take a look at a persuasive speech about mental health days for students. It's actually kind of a very specific speech that's local to Oregon, which is pretty cool. And then later on Friday, we're going to talk about social media and persuasion and looking at a couple of videos and doing an activity to discuss that. And then you are going to start a mini advertising project. It's going to be something that I'm going to give you time to work on next week in class. Because next week is also a very different week because we have parent-teacher conferences that week. So a quick announcement. Be checking Student View for your grades. If you try to check Canvas, it's just going to not show you anything that's accurate and up to date because Canvas doesn't sync well. So if you need to figure out what your grade is, especially with parent-teacher conferences approaching, check Student View for the most up-to-date stuff. If you have a question or if something looks off, just email me or talk to me at school. I'm a human. I make mistakes with grading, so sometimes it happens and you can help me catch that. So if you have questions, please tell me. So this again is the Kahoot. If you're gone on the day that we do this, you can't really do it on your own because you have to have a code, but just go back into your notes and do some review. So we in the past few weeks have been diving in deep into our argumentative writing, argument and persuasion unit, and we have talked about types of evidence, how there's numbers, quotes, examples, analogies, and facts, and how evidence is supposed to support our argument. We've also talked about ethos, pathos, and logos, and how those 3 categories of persuasion are going to help you, especially when you figure out knowing who your audience is and determining what do they care about, what are they passionate about, what appeals to them. If you can figure out what those things are, you can use evidence and you can use ethos, pathos, and logos to make sure that your message or your argument is the most convincing and persuasive that it could possibly be. And then last week we started looking at advertising specifically because that's a very specific, modern, everyday version of persuasive writing. So we looked at fear, bandwagon, testimonials, loaded words, repetition, slogans, plain folk, transference, and beautiful people. All of these techniques that are used in advertising. So what you're going to do if you are absent on Tuesday, you are going to take a look at this video. This is, I think, about an 8-minute long speech. This is Haley Hardcastle. She graduated from, I can't remember the high school, but she graduated from a high school in Oregon a couple years ago. And she gave us a speech at a TED Talk event that they did in Salem called Why Students Should Have Mental Health Days. And she talks about kind of her experience and background in that and what happened in terms of legislation that was passed. So you're going to take a look at this video. If you're gone on the day that we do this in class, you can still complete this. It's just going to not be in a group format. So you will go to Canvas and you're going to click on this Student Mental Health Day speech. And, oops, wrong one. It should look something like this. So ideally what you're going to do after watching the video and listening to her speech is that you're going to go back through this. This is the written transcript of the speech, and you're going to do some identifying using the Google Highlighter tool to identify different types of evidence and the ethos, pathos, and logos that she uses so we can see some patterns in terms of how is she trying to convince her audience of her argument. So you will do that. And again, that's located just under the slides in week 6. If you want more information about the House Bill 2191 that she was talking about, there's links here. I believe they should still work. If they don't, let me know. But the Mental Health Day for students is an actual thing, so you can take a look at that if you're curious. Okay, so the other questions you need to answer, what forms, just tell me like describing, writing it out, what forms of evidence do you find were most commonly used in Haley's speech? And what categories of persuasion, so looking at ethos, pathos, and logos, did she use the most? Which ones are the ones that we keep seeing pop up? Because I guarantee you she's using more than one, but she's going to use some more than others. So you're going to tell me that on this slide. Okay. So this is something that you could do on the slides. It's technically going to be a group thing, but you need to come up with a list of pros and cons for social media. What are the pros to it and what are the cons? There's going to be definitely a balance of both. So just brainstorm in general, not like a specific app or website, but just tell me, what are the pros and cons of social media? Okay, so you are going to take a look at this video. This is a crash course video about navigating digital information. This one is about social media specifically. And I think I'm going to have you pause about halfway through the video because we only really need to focus on the first half, so it should be about 10 minutes. And then after you watch this video, you're going to go into the slides and you're going to answer these questions. How are ads on social media more specific and tailored to consumers than ads from before social media existed, like ads on TV and radio stations? And then John Green mentioned the term filter bubble in his reference to social media. So in your own words, after watching that video, I want you to describe what that means. What is he talking about when he says a filter bubble? So go ahead and pause this video and do that. After you finish watching the social media video, you're going to watch the first 5.5 minutes of this video. It's from the same section of videos, the same, I don't know, segment that you would call it, about navigating digital literacy. So this is all about lateral reading. So I want you to, again, stop about 5.5 minutes way through this video and tell me what is lateral reading and why is it important? What does he say? Okay, the very last thing, I'm going to give us more information about this on Friday, but you are going to be creating a Super Bowl ad, and you can do that in one of 2 ways. I know that not everybody has access to like video editing equipment and stuff like that. If you do and you want to do like a video ad, I'm going to encourage you to do it in a group, to make it like a group project, so you can decide how you're going to do that. If you are not interested in doing that and you kind of just want to do like an individual project, you're going to do a magazine one-pager using Canva. And if you remember a couple weeks ago at the beginning of the school year, I had you do that little word goal assignment with Canva so that you could get used to using it. So you should know and be familiar with how to use it by now, or at least the basics of it. So again, we are going to go over this in more detail. So check Canvas for links and for the instructions, and then we're going to have some time to work on it next week. So that is it for week 6. If you have any questions, please let me know.